So I'm here with Polly McGettigan. She is the milliner to Jen Kelly haute couture gowns. Polly, how did you get started in milliner?
Well, first of all, I probably was encouraged by Jen Kelly. Jen and I have been friends for many years.
Right, yeah.
And after having my third baby, I decided that I wanted to do something for myself.
Right.
Jen encouraged me. I had a strong background in art and design, and 13 years ago I trained as a stylist for Matches in London.
Very good.
So the Matches kind of gave me that interest in fashion. They had very well-known designer brands and whatever that was being put out, and we were basically there to style these clothing.
Yeah.
And to actually put them forward for magazines and different movie casts and TV programs and things. So I went into Grafton Academy in Dublin.
Right.
And I trained with a milliner there, Aileen Cogan, and I was, she seen the flair that I had, she encouraged me on, and between herself and Jen Kelly, I found myself making hats. I recently started a studio myself in my home, where I create hats that complement Jen Kelly's latest collections.
And why hats? Why not fashion or jewellery?
Hats are something, I always think hats are something that make people dapper. As soon as a hat is actually put on someone, it actually finishes. It's like that topping, you know.
And hats were a general thing of the past, and then they came back with the trend of fascinators, and now we're going back to hats again. Which, are you more a hat person?
I'm more a hat person. Fascinators, I couldn't see far enough. There's nothing, you know, I don't like the feathery things. You know, I think women look like exotic birds, kind of, and not the nice exotic birds.
Yeah.
I think programs like Mad Men,
Yeah.
Sex and the City and whatever has really encouraged that hat. The pillbox, which I have been making many of, the pillbox has just come along, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody wants a pillbox
Yeah.
to finish that outfit. And I think the beauty about hats is that the sky is the limit with it. Anything can actually go on a hat.
Yeah.
And look interesting.
And do you find that people are wearing hats more and more in everyday life as opposed to formal occasions?
Absolutely. I mean, going back in the 80s, the funny thing is, when someone wore sunglasses, they were viewed as being a poser.
Yeah.
Now we know medically we actually have to wear these sunglasses for UV rays.
Yeah.
I actually believe hats is the same thing. I think hats will go from strength to strength, and people will actually realise that they will actually have to cover the top of their heads, which is exposed.
You don't think of the practicalities of it?
That's it. It's just not old-fashioned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is kind of a method in the madness of actually making hats.
Yeah. And do you have any advice for my followers who would come from a small town? You're from Coleraine?
I'm actually from Coleraine, yeah, and believe me, there was little fashion.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, I used to want to be a fashion designer, and back in the 80s, I used to go to my careers teacher and say I want to be a fashion designer, and he would have laughed me out of the room because
Same when I was at school.
it just wasn't there. Coleraine got Topshop, and we were ecstatic about this, you know. So I find that where people have a fashion flair and they're from a small town, the internet is a massive tool now. Do you know what I mean? People can be very stylish. They can get their hands basically on anything.
Myself, I'm from Buncrana in County Donegal.
Of course.
So I am one who uses the internet with my blogging.
Yes.
So it's interesting to see how somebody can come up there and be at this stage working with Jen Kelly, showing on
Of
this
course,
event
yeah. No, I have
from
been
such a
very,
small town.
I have been very, very privileged, and I have had the great honour of being able to make hats for possibly Ireland's most prestigious women.
Excellent. Can you tell us who?
Well, I had Aoife Cogan and Gordon Darcy's wedding. I made Aoife's mum's hat, which, you know, gets a lot of publicity in magazines and whatever. And then a stylist, or the editor of the Image magazine, her mother also for her wedding. So,
Any divas?
Not yet. Not yet. But I did, it was funny, I was at...
You haven't worked with me yet?
No, but I went to Lady Gaga, on Saturday, and when I was going there, I kept finding all these flowers and feathers and this, that and the other. So I actually picked them up off the street, and I thought, I'm actually going to make the Lady Gaga hat of my experience, do you know what I mean, on what I actually find on the street, do you know what I mean, for this.
So one last word now to my followers, what would you like to say to inspire them to follow a career in fashion?
Well, I think the sky's the limit, and I think if you have a talent, definitely use it. Designers are not as scary as what you actually think. People are intimidated by them, but they are normal people.
Thank you very much. It was lovely to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.